And one of those images is the best out of the set of similar shots. And so when I scroll through this, I don't want to see this many pictures. I mean, look at how many shots that is. That's quite a few going through here. So let's just say that this particular picture is the only one I'm going to use for when this particular rider is riding in that particular direction. Well, I can click on that image, hold the Shift key, and get other images. I just held Shift and clicked on the first of that series. And you'll notice that we have all those images selected, but this one, the first one I clicked on, is actually selected in a brighter shade of white. That's the one I would actually be viewing if I hit the space bar to view it full size. You could think of that as the active image, and the other ones just happen to also be selected. And then if I go to the photo menu, there's a feature where I can choose stacking. I can say group into stack. And what that means is when I group into a stack, instead of seeing all of those images that I had selected, I'm only going to see one. It's the one that you can consider to be at the top of the stack. And it will simply put a number on top of it. If I look at that number, it's supposed to look like a stack of photos, just 2 photos. If I mouse over that number and click on it, it will expand it to show the other images. Click the number again, and it'll collapse it. And that way, I could narrow down the number of images here so that here I have 2 people, 2 different horses for all these shots. The horse is on the edge of this shot. I could pick the one that I think looks the best and then select the others. Go to the photo menu, stacking, group into stack. And narrow down my images by doing that. I often do this with HDR pictures. We'll talk about HDR tomorrow, but it's where you bracket your exposures. And by bracketing, what you end up with is the exact same composition, the exact same framing of your photos, and the only thing that varies is how bright the shots are. You end up merging multiple images together that vary in brightness into a single picture and process it. And once I'm done processing it, why not take the finished end result and stack it with the original exposures so that all I see is the end result. If I want to get back to the original exposures, I can always expand that stack and see it. And so stacking can help me really reduce the number of images that I'm looking at when I'm scrolling through a folder. Okay? And I do use that quite a bit. There's another feature, though, that I, in general, never use, but I could see how it would be helpful for some people. And so let's take a look at it. When I'm in the library, let's say I need to very quickly work on a large number of images. In this particular case, here are some images. I don't remember where I was. It looks like New Mexico. I'm guessing it's Taos, New Mexico. I find that some of these are too dark, some of them are too bright, and maybe I want to make some of them black and white, that kind of thing, and I want to do it in a hurry. Well, if I'm in the library and I go to the right side of my screen and click on the little triangle to expand that panel, there's an area in there called Quick Develop. With Quick Develop, I can select a series of images, like let's say all of these that are too dark, and there are some buttons. Here I can say bring up the exposure. If I hit the little triangle there, it's going to bring it up a little bit. If I hit the double triangle, it's going to bring it up a lot. And so maybe I want to bring up the brightness there. Maybe I bring up clarity a little bit and make them a little more colorful by bringing up vibrance. And it's just going to update the images. You can tell if the images have been updated or not because anytime Lightroom is trying to load a picture to like either show you the end result of something or to render a preview, above the image you'll find 3 periods, like ... And so watch right above each image and see if briefly you see 3 periods or 3 little circles appear above the image. I'm going to make it more colorful. You see the 3 little dots? They only show up for a second until it's done updating. I'll zoom up so it makes it a little easier to see. Watch right about here. Whoops, I didn't see them.